6 days in Fallujah. Is it worth a buy? Let's read the words of the developer. 6 Days in Fallujah is a realistic first-person tactical shooter based on the true stories of Marine soldiers and Iraqi civilians during the toughest urban battle since 1968. First up, guys, a quick look at the graphical options and other options as well. Graphically, there's a few options you can twiddle and twig with. The game ran fine for me. I had everything on Ultra, but I was running it in 1080p, so I wasn't pushing it too hard. It looks great as well, I have to say. That the whole atmosphere and the look of the game is great. More on that in a second. Other options, it has keybinds, but there are hard-bound keys, which is a huge problem for people like me who don't use WASD. G, for example, is hard-bound to grenade, and there's no way you can actually select that in the keybind options, which is stupid. You should not have keys hard-bound, so there's that. Sound-wise, this game is brilliant sound-wise, especially the way the voices echo in buildings and things, and the radio voices. Unfortunately, it's open mic. Open mic, what the hell? It does have a push to talk key, but there's still it's still an open mic. Needs addressing. The game itself is it's a 4-player co-op game essentially. You can play this single player, but you will not complete the mission, especially the convoy mission, which you just can't do. Protecting a convoy by yourself, because there's no AI at all in this game that will assist you. There's no bots, so yeah, it's not a single player game at all. Played it last night for about 3.5 to 4 hours. 4-player co-op, and we had to ditch the in-game voice and we had to use Discord, just simply so we could actually play it properly. And I have to say, we had pretty much a fun time in the game. Some things were bad, some things were really bad, but there were times when we had some decent fun. I feel like the AI needs a lot of work at the minute. The AI is just pretty unrealistic. There's a lot of bugs in the game as well.
There's a guy right here. He's not shooting me though. Look at this.
The worst thing for me was respawning enemies, like in buildings you've just cleared. What is the point of that in a simulator-based game like this? When you're pushing forward to an objective and you clear a building, you go in as a 4-man team and you're very careful. You're working as a team together through the building, room from room to room. Very atmospheric. You clear the building. You know there's nobody left in the building. You leave the building. You walk 5 yards away. And then you're getting shot in the arse from people in the building you've just freaking cleared. We were so convinced that there were spawning enemies that we actually left one. We restarted the mission and left one of our guys in the actual building. Is that a wasp? So we left a guy in the building, as I was saying, and the 3 of us we are leaving now. We actually leave that actual building, and that building is clear. There's nobody at all in that building. We engage one guy to the right at this point here, who's running around up the top there, and the guy in the shot now, he goes to open a gate, and that's the trigger. And then as soon as he's done that, now we hear people's voices inside the building.
I'm hearing voices beneath me.
And as I go around, there's a guy on the first floor balcony shoots me. So we didn't see them actually materialize in there, but yeah, it looked very much like they spawned in. There is a slight chance they could have snuck in round the back without us knowing, tippy-toed in, but it looked like a spawn. You get 3 or 4 missions. I think it's 3. You get a convoy mission. You get to rescue snipers from a rooftop. Yeah, I think there's 3 missions in the game. That's all you get. There's no campaign. Just 3 missions. And the missions that we played, apart from the convoy protection one, were pretty okay, pretty decent. We had fun. The convoy protection mission is just awful. You are literally, there's 4 vehicles in the street, and at a certain time a suicide bomber in a Jeep will come around from the north and try to crash into the north, and the guy who has the grenade launcher takes him out. Then about 2 minutes later they'll come from the other side and then back to the other side, and all the rest of the time there's just random insurgents shooting at you from like a playground area and behind a few broken walls. That's it. That's an entire mission. pretty poor. Other missions are much better, where you have to walk up the street using a tank as a shield from a sniper and from other shots. Then you have to take a compound over, clear all the buildings and rescue some snipers. That was nice. Another one where you have to just hold out after you clear a compound. You have to hold out for a short while. That was another fun mission, just clearing the rooms. It's fun working together as one with 4 of yous. Just, you know, you have different weapons. I had most of the time an LMG. Other guys had the M16 with the scope on the top, and shotguns, torches as well. You got a torch or a flashlight on your weapon, and you need it because they're quite dark in the actual buildings that you go into. And it's very atmospheric. The sound is excellent. I can't really fault the sound. Like I said already, the voice sounds is great. The gun sounds is good. It feels a bit stiff at the minute, the game, but here's the big problem with this. Save the worst to last, guys. The huge problem with this is the game is $32.99. It's in early access, fair enough, but you get 3 missions. You can't even select which mission you want. It's just random. You go into a lobby, and then you say, right, go, and you will be given one of these random 3 or 4 missions. That's it. And for $32.99, nah, I'm sorry. That's just taking the piss, in my opinion. Now, I know it's early access, like I've said. I know that it's going to get a lot more love. It's going to get a campaign and other game modes as well. And it's very respectful, the way that it dealt with the people who fought in Fallujah. I really like that. You get to hear the stories of people who were actually there, and the missions is based on that. And I love all that. That's great. But still, $32.99? No way. No way. If you're buying into this now, then you really have to have faith in the developer, who's never made a game before, according to Steam. I clicked, there's nothing. That's too much of that's a huge ask. That's a huge ask, in my opinion. Now, you can get this cheaper on Green Man Gaming if you enter the code that's in the description. I think it's June 16th. I'll put the code in the description with a link. You can get it cheaper there, but it's still a lot of money for a game that only has 3 missions and has bugs and problems. Yeah, because it is an enjoyable game. It has massive potential, and this is a good base to go on. But $32.99, and that price is going to rise. This is going to probably end up a £55 game. Well, if it is, it's got a hell of a long way to go. A hell of a long way to go. But it is fun. It's just way too bare bones at the minute for me. Way too bare bones.
Whoa, straight out the door and shot in the face.
Oh, bloody hell. I think I just shot Matt.
Is that you with a shotgun? Okay.
Oh, fuck. Oh. Sorry, Matt.
He's carrying an RPK, right? Like a LMG. We gonna talk about that? Or?